It's no doubt about it, Arsenal are playing brilliant football right now, and despite having a lot of injuries have made it work with the players in the team. One of them players has been Jakub Kiwior, who's had a lot of problems struggling at Arsenal in the past but has really turned it around in the last few games. Let's go through how he's done that and why he is just so good. Now, like for one, I was very critical on Jakub Kiwior before in the team. I said before he's clearly a good defender, and when he played in centre-back in that cup game against Brentford, I think we saw it against a very good team. He's clearly not a bad defender, but sometimes in a 1v1 in left back he has struggled. He struggled when we played PSV with Bakayoko, who is a good winger to be fair, but also struggled in certain situations. As you can see, he's not really comfortable out there. The biggest of all of them was the fact he struggled at inverting. He really didn't like it, and against Fulham it really cost us. He often looked lost, and a lot of the time I felt like he was in that half pocket between left back and centre mid rather than actually committing to one position. I also don't think still to this day that Kiwior's the most comfortable on the ball in this Arsenal team. Maybe when he gets a bit more confident, plays a bit more for the team, you might see it, but I think he still gets a bit nervous at times and understands there's a lot of pressure on him. However, I do think he is still a very solid defender, and I think he's been proving that recently. Now, it's been well reported that one of the reasons why we have improved is because Ben White has inverted into midfield, but it's not just a key inversion by him. He also swaps with Odegaard sometimes when Odegaard comes deeper and Ben White becomes that wing back role outside. This often gives Arsenal their 5 front forward that they usually have and keeps them very much in their 3-2-5 attacking shape. Now, one of the first ways that Arsenal wanted to counter and wanted to try and sort out the attack when they were struggling was to actually try and put 6 up front. They thought maybe if we can have enough solid defence, we can have a 2-2-6 or a 3-1-6 depending on where the players were. This was first used with Tomiyasu, usually overlapping as well as the front 5 going forward. This is when Odegaard was still very much forward in the team, and this worked in some games such as a Champions League game against Lyon where Tomiyasu did brilliant to overlap Saka and give him some options and got some assists. Now, what's very interesting is now, even though Odegaard is coming deeper and then progressing to make it a 5, or Ben White is making it a 5, Arsenal is still sometimes, when they get enough pressure on the ball, going up the pitch with another player, and that is often becoming Kiwior more and more again. He is becoming a really good overlapping option for someone like Martinelli, and has always given him a chance to actually have some players around him to help him on his side. Combine that with the fact that Havertz is usually playing left centre mid with Trossard interchanging with both of them as well, there's often actually some support on the left side, and it often changes around the pitch, and it's not so predictable Arsenal are just going to keep going down the right side like they used to. Kiwior has become really good at that overlap and run. He's really shown that he's great on the ball sometimes in them areas, and he's really proved a lot of people that thought he weren't great on the ball, like myself, wrong. Yeah, I still think there's sometimes he struggles. In the Burnley game, for example, when Arsenal obviously were already 3-0 up and they were dominating, Kiwior came up at the side of the pitch and ended up getting onto the ball and putting a ball across, which took a deflection, went to Havertz, and Trossard scored with the number of players in the box. This is a quick transition because Arsenal win the ball in midfield from a brilliant header by Havertz, but they're prepared for this and he's ready to go into that space on the left side with the Burnley defence moving away from the players. Often in settled possession, it doesn't really seem like Arsenal would necessarily go for this because they expect maybe Ben White or someone else to help them on that side, but they often actually use Kiwior as a transitional based player when he's coming inside. And Ben White is already in that inverted position and Arsenal win the ball back transitioning or trying to go quickly with a chance appearing, Kiwior seems to be the person that actually overlaps here. Even in the first goal, Arsenal win the ball back and everyone starts running up the pitch. Ben White is already inverted into midfield, so Kiwior actually goes and tries to help Martinelli. This not only allows everyone else to get into the box, the other 4 attackers, it also gives Martinelli an option if he does get caught or wants to slow the ball down to give the overlap to Kiwior to try and get across the ball in. Obviously, in the first instance, this did not happen. Martinelli passed it just as Kiwior was getting there, straight to Odegaard at the edge of the box, and we scored a brilliant goal with the other attackers being involved. Not only that, when Kiwior kind of moves into the back 3 with Arsenal when they're trying to get sustained possession and trying to do their pressing style, he often has shown that he's a very good player. If Arsenal lose the ball, he is often very good in a tackle and actually makes good decision making skills when he has Saliba and Gabriel next to him. Something I thought was very interesting in this game, there's a few times I think where Saliba went a bit rogue and tried to win the ball back quite early, pressing quite high by himself. There's a few times that the players went past him on the Burnley side, and Jakub Kiwior actually did so well composed to not let people go past him, and he's so good at being so calm under pressure as he just lets the ball roll out for a goal kick or a throw in every single time. Overall in the game he had 6 duels and he won 4 and lost 2. That's a very good number, and in the air he had 2 out of 2 wins. He did very well and was very good as an aerial threat as well because he is around the 6 foot height. This allows Arsenal to get more pressure from defending corners and win the ball with the header and physicality they have. Kiwior is a player like Havertz Havertz is very important in these games because he offers that different physicality that we don't have. Ben White obviously has that physicality while being able to invert, and Zinchenko doesn't really have the physicality but has the ball playing skills. Ben White's a little bit in between of both of them, not as good on the ball but better at physicality. Jakub Kiwior is a brilliant defender as well, so this gives us many options, I think, going forward. And of course, Arsenal were utterly dominant and Burnley didn't really offer anything, but they had 0 shots on target, and every single defender deserves a lot of credit in this game. Kiwior himself had 1 clearance, 1 headed clearance, 1 interception, 6 defensive actions and 1 recovery. Overall having a pretty solid game defensively, but I really liked his attack and threat. He did 1 touch in the opposition box, 7 passes into the final third, and overall did 66 passes and had 1 accurate long ball. And to expand on the fact his decision making is getting better, later on in the game he actually got another assist. That's a few he's racked up now, and it was just a simple throw-in, you can say, but Havertz is waiting for the pass and he doesn't do it originally thinking the defenders are going to go back, and I have no idea what Burnley are doing, I will say, but Kiwior does brilliant to actually still commit to it and throw it to the other person. And obviously we're 4-0 up, and I think he got more confident as the game went on. I think Kiwior will get more confident the more games he plays for Arsenal, and I'm actually starting to think that he should be a very good option to continue this play, continue this form. At the moment you do not drop anyone from this Arsenal team because they have been thrashing everyone. You keep them in, and I think Kiwior should still play if Zinchenko comes back. And a few months ago we were all talking about Kiwior leaving the club. He was rumoured to go to AC Milan, and it actually looked like it was going to happen for a large part. It obviously didn't. We had to keep him through injuries, but I think we've found a real gem here. He's a really good player, and he's always been a brilliant option for Gabriel, but Gabriel hasn't really got injured or not played, other than at the start of the season when he got dropped. So Kiwior's not really been able to show himself as a true defender and has to play roles he's not very comfortable with, and that's not necessarily a detriment to him. Even Gabriel, a brilliant left centre back like himself, is not comfortable at inverting and playing left back, and I wouldn't even think someone like Saliba, if he did it on right back, probably would be as well. It takes a select few of people to play it, and often you have to have that midfield prowess and be able to play in midfield before. Ben White has played in midfield before, he's probably used to it. And overall I think Jakub Kiwior has proven to everyone that he can play at this level, and his physicality and I think his really good heading ability, and also he's very good in that back three, do help us. He's getting more smart on the ball, and I really like his overlapping play. He's no longer a detriment to having the team, and even when people like Tomiyasu come back, who's been superb, was one of our best players before he went to Asia Cup and got injured, we'll have to fight to get back in this team. These fullbacks have been fine this season. I think there's been good performances by all of them and bad performances, and I think it's a lot up in the air of who should play. A lot of the time people didn't even want Ben White to play, now he's an instrumental role for the team, so it definitely changes per month. But right now Jakub Kiwior for me should be playing, and I think he should continue being in the team for the next time being. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your view today. Let me know what you guys think about Jakub Kiwior, and let me know, do you think he should be playing over Zinchenko or Tomiyasu when they come back? Let me know what you think about the Arsenal and Burnley game as well. If you like this video, I'd recommend going to watch my video earlier where I talk about the whole midfield system and more importantly why Martin Odegaard's new role is carrying Arsenal through game. Thank you guys for watching. Like always, see you in the next one.